Greetings, folks! We have successfully arrived in Kangaroo Island. The ferry trip from Cape Jervis was an absolute breeze under the fine morning sun. I drove our solo four-wheel drive down the ramp, pulled over at the Penneshaw Harbour and waited for the rest of the crew to trudge down the passenger walkway. Once everyone was squeezed back into the car, we officially hit the tarmac. We began our island exploration with a quick lap of town, driving up the Middle Terrace right past the iconic Penneshaw Pub, which looks like an excellent spot for a celebratory beer later on. From there we zipped down Middle Terrace and made a strategic pit stop at the Penneshaw Beach car park. We needed a moment to look at the map, check the coordinates and figure out exactly which hidden gem we were going to conquer first, at least until we head towards American River, where our Airbnb house awaits. After some discussions, we drove a short distance over to Frenchmans Rock. Now, this isn't just any old boulder, it's covered by a wide dome to protect it because it features a piece of 200-year-old historic graffiti. Back in 1803, the French explorer Nicolas Baudin and the crew of his ship Le Géographe stopped right here in Hog Bay to look for fresh water. To mark the occasion, one of the sailors chiseled an inscription into the stone. It basically translates to Expedition of Discovery by Captain Baudin on the Géographie 1803. It's the ultimate historical equivalent of tweeting, "Baudin was here." Just bear in mind that the rock you see under the white dome on the foreshore is actually a highly accurate replica. The originally inscribed Frenchmans Rock was moved to a museum long ago to protect it from erosion, and you can actually see the real deal inside the Kangaroo Island Visitor Center just up the road. Now, you may wonder, why is this place called Kangaroo Island? Well, you can thank the English explorer Matthew Flinders for that. A year before the French turned up, Flinders landed here in 1802. His crew had been living on terrible rotting ship rations for months and they were absolutely starving. They stumbled up on an absolute abundance of kangaroos that were so completely unafraid of humans. They just stood there and looked them in the eye. The crew shot 31 of them for a massive feast. Flinders wrote in his journal that out of pure gratitude for the seasonable supply of fresh meat, he named it Kangaroo Island. Talk about a literal dinner tribute. But here is the real mystery of the island. No Aboriginal people lived here when the Europeans arrived. While the mainland is rich with indigenous culture, Kangaroo Island was completely uninhabited. Archaeologists have found ancient stone tools proving that Aboriginal people did live here thousands of years ago when the island was still connected to the mainland by a land bridge. But when the ice melted and the ocean cut it off, the population eventually vanished or left. The mainland and Ngarrindjeri people call it Kata, which translates to the island of the dead. I guess that explains it. For centuries, it sat entirely isolated from human footsteps. Because of that massive thousands of years long isolation, the local wildlife did something incredible. The kangaroos on the island actually evolved into its own distinct subspecies. They are noticeably different from the western grey relatives back on the mainland. Because they live in thick scrub and have zero natural predators like dingoes, They are adapted to be shorter, stockier, much darker chocolate brown, and famously laid back and trusting. They are basically the shorter, friendlier cousins of the kangaroo family tree. See, less afraid of humans, as you'll see later on. With our history lessons sorted and the four-wheel drive raring to go, it's time to leave Penneshaw behind and see what else this wild island has in store for us.